I'm at the bottom of my quilt and I've got these two areas that I want to try to fill. So here's the bottom of my quilt right here. And this area right here is open and I want to fill these in. So I wanted to show you an easy way to crop this bottom filler row is what I call it. All right, so the first thing we've got to do is nest so that we get this next row that we need down here. Okay, so you can do this different ways. You can lock your channel locks, or you can drop your needle into the quilt, or you can just hold it still or whatever. Mine, like I've said before, my machine's really heavy and ain't gonna move, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm not gonna do either one of those, but just place your crosshairs anywhere inside of your box and just run through the nesting procedure. So hit the nest button, and then it says select and mark your spot. That's the spot we're going to do. Roll the quilt. We're not going to roll the quilt. We're just going to hit the check mark. Move the machine to your nesting point. It's already there. We're going to click it. So now it says move to place the nested row. We're not going to do that. We hit the check mark. So now what that's going to do, it's going to give us these parts right here that we need to fill in those spots. That circle right there is going to go in there. So this is the area that we're going to fill right in there. Okay, so now let me show you how to crop that out. First thing we've got to do is make a pattern box. So what we want to do is get our crosshairs right on the corner of our pattern box right there. So we're going to come right there, and you can drop your needle down or something like that if that makes you more secure. Then we're going to go to layout, and over here we're going to hit the plus. All right, so right where we are without moving, hit your plus right here. All right, now we're going to move all the way to the bottom right of our actual quilt. All right, so here we are in the bottom right corner of our quilt, and on our screen, we're just going to push the check mark, and you can see that gave us a pattern box. All right, now down here we are in 2 of 2. You need to move back to 1 of 2, and you see that shows us our pattern. All right, now we're going to go to edit right there. And then we're going to come over here to the right and we're going to click crop. And we're going to click the crop button on the far right. And there you have it. This is what we're going to stitch out. Okay, and that's going to fill in our spots. Our crosshairs, as you can see right here, are on the bottom. It's on the very bottom of our quilt, and so you can see that these parts right here are going to stitch up above the bottom of our quilt and fill in those holes. All right, let's stitch those out. Okay, I want to point out a couple of things. I'm not happy that it happened, but I am glad to show it to you. So what happened, I don't know if you can see this tiny little gap right here, and there's a tiny little gap right here. What happened was when I cropped it, my box was just a little too far down, and it cropped out a little segment in the top of both of these. And I was videoing, and so I wasn't watching carefully enough. But what I should have done was just gone into edit and move and just dropped it down 1 click, and it would have been low enough that it wouldn't have cropped off that topmost little piece right there. I normally check that, but I didn't. You do need to look before you crop and make sure you're not cropping off something that you need at the top or the sides. If you watch the stitch out, here's what it did. So there's a gap right here. It stopped and then it tied off, and it restarted right here. I can fix this real easy. I can just come in here and just add a few manually, just put in a few stitches and you'll never know the difference. But I just wanted to show you why you need to be careful about cropping off the top of that. Okay, so this should be the end of your quilt and you really shouldn't have to do anything else. But if you do need to go back, you just go to edit and then come over here and hit your back button. And you're right back where you started from. All right, well, I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you for watching.